I know you can see my slide, but I want to get your feedback. Why would you want to include everybody? Somebody talk about financial inclusion. Normally, the main basis is the marginalized groups, right? Because when we're designing our products and our awesome systems, we're looking at people who can afford, right? They're going to run online, they're going to run on smartphones, okay, even USSD, yeah? But these are people who have an income or something. Yeah, but the main objective here is look at those other groups, right? People who might not easily onboard onto all these numerous applications that we have. So somebody talked about PWDs. We've also had children, women, you know, where's Tim Kapesa? Kasaiba with the product Kasente, right? So women have Kameza. am I speaking true? We have Kameza being left for us at home, right? Or the corporate ladies are leaving Kameza for their caretakers, right? At home. So how do we manage that Kameza money? You can also start looking at such groups, okay? You're not really earning like a salary or something, but there's money that you're being entrusted with, right? How can you manage it? Which other people should we include from your point of view? We've talked about PWDs, refugees, women, children. Who else do you think we can include? When we are looking at PWDs, probably we should look at people who are challenged in that way, right? Yeah, let's brainstorm about this. How can you include people who can't read? Because you have your USSDs, but they can't read. They can't read those options you've provided. They can't. Like we know the CVTech. And then, most importantly, let's create awareness, right? Train these people, okay? You can do this through demos, have people going out into the community as you're marketing your product, you're also training them. So even if somebody attended and the other didn't, they can easily explain to them how they need to go about accessing certain services on the phone, right? Yeah, so you need to create awareness, especially for these marginalized groups, okay? Awareness is very important.
On our Israel Academy, you can see he's already a student, a learner there, and he has options here to pick from. And assuming he's picking to study solution thinkers, so I will just request someone who has 5K on their mobile money to subscribe for that. I'll refund it right now. Just put in their number. Yes, okay. So a daily, to access our courses is 5,000 daily. Learner account for Kasasa, she has subscribed to be our learner. And that 5,000, 10% is going to go to Israel EduBank, which will be building the financial muscle to support teachers in low-income communities. So for this platform, so you can come back to the platform and pick any course. You've now paid for it. We want everybody to participate in earning money through offering education. You can create a course on our academy, and you'll earn money off it. We shall get you clients because we already have clients, and you'll make the money. But then we are saying teachers from low-income communities are being left out, yet they could also earn money. So we are adding an extension of a teacher's portal where the teacher will come. So that's our web portal for the teachers. You can come and get training resources. We train you, we reskill you. Then you check the available work in your community, and then there's an Edu wallet there where you'll get paid, and also you have access to no interest loans. It will be also available via USSD. So, Mr. Simon, that's where we are as of now.
That I understand.
Yes.
So what are you demoing to us right now?
I'm demoing this one, the teacher's portal.
Yes.
And it has the Edu wallet right here. So Here is where they'll create their accounts and they can come and have their wallets there, earn money from teaching, from getting the available work there, and also getting the training, and then they can also get top up on their wallets, loans.
Is it working right now?
It's, I can say 40%. By the end of today, we'll be at 60%.
Let's say I'm a teacher.
Yes.
I have my own personal content, okay? But I want to use your platform as a teacher to earn money. Is that possible?
If it falls in our scope of the content we're delivering, yes, you can create a course at Iseria Academy.
So the solution program,
yeah.
Is it different from the EduWallet, or it's part of the EduWallet?
The EduWallet is just for them, it's for the money.
You have my profile, I can come and register with you, and I want anyone who is paying me to go through your account.
Oh, yeah, they can, because even parents can actually pay for their service through their EduWallet.
Okay.
That's the ultimate goal.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you so much.
Think about a question you'd want me to talk about or you want me to answer. That way I talk about the things you actually want to hear about or want to know about. I know about a lot of things. The only thing I won't talk about is politics, because I don't do politics. So, but otherwise you can ask me anything. So take your time, you can write. I wonder how we will do it. How will we, because there are some people who like to be anonymous depending on the question they ask. Okay, so someone will pass the mic around and then you will ask me the question which I'll respond to. If you want to be anonymous about the question you ask, then just write it on a piece of paper and get it here and I'll still answer it.
Hi everybody, my name is Sylvia Bonavana, part of Team Total Save. Our team leader is Patricia Nekesa, and we have Mercy Wamanga and Pauline Nalwanga. Our solution is our mobile application and a way that will give an opportunity to low-income earners to be able to save for their children's school fees and health emergencies to a tune of as low as 2,000 shillings. They can also get an opportunity for people to sponsor their children through the application and also pay directly to the school.
Is it only school fees?
And health emergencies.
And health, okay. Thank you.
Like, this is a digital marketplace that connects farmers to big corporate companies. It's more of a marketplace. We're giving them a market.
So it's connecting it to people who are going to buy stuff from them?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I have Alima, Josephine, and Anita, who is not around. We are solving a problem of access to funding for NGOs. Our solution is a system that will recruit NGOs on the platform, allow donors to donate. We help NGOs disseminate funds, and our business model is taking a fee on every transaction.
The person
The NGO, when they receive money, we can disseminate funds.
Let me see, getting an idea onto the market without reinventing the wheel. I think what you probably would need to do is to do a lot of research. So you see how all of you, I was asking about the solutions that you are providing, and some snippets of it I've had before, because I'm not a fintech person, I'm not a programmer, but I know generally what's on the market. That's why I was asking you those questions. So you need to make sure that whatever solution you're developing is not replicating something that already exists. So imagine you spend all this time trying to develop something, and it's taking you a lot of time to develop it. You spend a year, in there, and then only to get to the market and find that actually there is another solution on the market that's been running for the last 4 years. So you need to do quite a lot of research. The way to do it is to be involved in your spaces. So don't isolate yourself. Make sure that you're online. That's important. You have to be online. And when you go online, you consume content that builds your mind, not content that just basically degrades your mind. Of course, we like entertainment. I like entertainment a lot. But you have to make sure that whenever you're consuming entertainment, you get a portion of time where you're also consuming knowledge. Because there's a lot of knowledge on the internet, but it's basically the internet is everything. There's knowledge, there's nonsense. It's up to you. You choose what you're going to consume. So when you're out there, like you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're everywhere, make sure that the groups you join are groups in your space. So you don't join only groups of, entertainment, of songs and celebrities. You also join groups that are fintech minded. You also join groups that are Ugandan minded and they're fintech minded, and therefore they talk about what's happening in the fintech space. That's how you get to know what's happening in the fintech space. That's how you get to know that actually whatever thing I'm developing, someone did it before, but how can I innovate with mine to do it better than them? Because once you're in that space, then you know what's going on. It could also improve. So you may find that because you're in the space, you find out, or maybe easy agri, a lot of you are doing agriculture stuff. So as you're developing your agriculture products, you find out Easy Agric is a solution that's been on the market for 3-4 years, and they're doing a little bit of the value chain that you're targeting. Shouldn't stop you from also doing your own, because it just because they're already on the market doesn't mean they've taken the whole market. There's a lot of need in agriculture, but you have to know what's happening in your space. The way to know is to connect and I know, of course, physical connection is very expensive, but the beauty about the internet is it's made connection very, very simple. You just need to make sure that when you use your time, you're using it on the internet, you're using it to also develop your mind, not just to consume, entertainment. Just out of curiosity, how many of you are on Twitter, for example? Okay, almost all of you. How many of you are on Facebook? Okay, almost. How many of you are on Instagram? Okay, some numbers. How many of you are on LinkedIn? Hey, I like that LinkedIn is very high. So there's a lot of good content on LinkedIn. How many of you, what other one haven't I mentioned? How many of you are on TikTok? Okay, I am so glad that all of you are on these social media platforms. And what I would advise you is when you're on these social media platforms, definitely, consume the entertainment, but join groups. And they shouldn't be just Ugandan groups in your space. Join international groups that are in tech. Join all those, groups that they've set up that are in tech. Because you may find that there's some guy in India who's developing this solution, and as you read about it, you find out that actually I could do that in Uganda. So you have to be using your brain to search the market, read about the market, but you do that very cheaply by doing that. Then also, if you're on LinkedIn, usually when you follow certain tech groups on LinkedIn, they usually have conferences that are online that you can attend. There's so many Zoom conferences that are available. That's the beauty about the one thing that has gotten out of COVID is that a lot of people are providing these conferences. Attend them. They provide a lot of content and information that you can access for free. Well, okay, not for free, you have to spend your data, but the knowledge you get is very important. So that's how you then make sure that when you're developing your solution, because you've been scanning the environment, the solution you develop may incorporate several things, several components. Because also as you're scanning the environment, you may find that, okay, Moops has developed a solution that covers this part of the chain. Then Tegeka has developed a solution that covers that part of the chain. I could sit here and decide I'm going to take a little bit out of what Tegeka is doing, a little bit of what Moops is doing, a little bit of what Izera is doing, and I will develop my solution that gets those 3 bits together, and I'll be unique even though I'm using certain components of what they're doing. So that's how actually, in fact, you even pick ideas. They usually say a writer doesn't write until they've read. You have to almost read like 500 books before you start writing, because you pick those ideas, and that's how you become unique. That's how you because usually ideas, I could pick an idea from him that I grow, and he may have picked it from somewhere that he grows. So, but the only way to get ideas is to actually read, to actually attend these meetings, attend conferences, join those groups. I'm so glad that you're all on social media. Just join every tech group you can find, whether it's a Ugandan tech, East African tech, African tech, Indian tech, Chinese tech. Just join them, because then you'll just get, now your feed will be of that content. I spend so much time on Twitter. So at the beginning of this year, I realized that my timeline is full of I get a lot of nonsense on my timeline. So what I did was I just read everything. Whether it's nonsense, I'll read it. Whether it's good stuff, I'll read it. So I realized, okay, 50% of the stuff coming through my timeline is stuff that doesn't add any value to me. So I went to my timeline and actually just unfollowed anyone who only gives me content that doesn't necessarily help me. So also clean up your feeds. I'm not saying that don't consume entertainment, but just be mindful and say, I don't want to spend all my time, all my life consuming only content that only entertains me. I also want to consume content that builds me in my field. Okay, let me start off with the idea thing. I think one of the, and it kills idea everywhere, whether in a startup, whether in someone's individual life, it's the fear of taking that risk. So usually people, they say, if you go to a graveyard, not usually just a graveyard of people, it's also a graveyard of ideas. One person can have 1,000 ideas actually in their lifetime, but if they don't even pursue one of them, those ideas will die with them. And people don't normally pursue their ideas because they are worried. They don't want to take a risk. They don't, because you could either succeed or fail. So usually it's that fear. Fear usually affects ideas. So what I would say, if you have an idea, take a chance on it, and you should start small always. but start. And usually the biggest thing that stops people from actually even taking their idea out of their head into out there is that they don't start. And they always imagine that for me to start, I need to have a massive office, I need to have 10 employees, I need to have, this amount of money. And what I normally advise is just start with what you have. Even if you start with you putting the idea on paper, even if it starts with you talking to the next person about your idea and getting them to buy into it. So whatever you have to start. So there's this lady that I was talking to. She was a university student. She got out of university, didn't have a job. And she looked for a job for a bit, she couldn't find a job. But she was interested in cutlery or kitchenware, I think that's what they call it. So she had a natural interest in kitchenware, but she didn't have the capital. So she was like, okay, I would like to set up a shop that just sells kitchenware. But she doesn't have the capital to do so, doesn't have a shop, has no money. But she started using what she had. So she's like, okay, but I do have a smartphone. So what she did was to go downtown and she would take pictures in Chikubo. So she went to Chikubo and goes to a shop and asks the person, how much is this sefulia? Then they tell her, then she takes a picture. So then she posted this stuff on Facebook. And then she told people, guys, if you want this sefulia, if it was 10K in the shop in Chikubo, she'll tell you, I can get it delivered to you, I'll charge you 20K plus delivery. People started ordering stuff from her because she had good taste. So when she goes to Chikubo, she takes pictures of the nice thing, based on her own taste. And then people will see it and say, actually, can I have that? And then she'll go to Chikubo now, go to the shop and buy. And normally she says that if you want her to deliver, she'll say, first send me 50%. And usually that 50% is actually the cost of the actual sefulia in Chikubo. So they send her the 50%, she goes, buys the sefulia, and then delivers it. Then when they give her the balance of the money, that's a profit. And that's how she started her business. To this day, she actually doesn't have any kitchenware. She's like the Amazon of kitchenware. So but she started with what she had. What she had was an idea and a smartphone. That's it. And she didn't let that stop her. So she used what she had. So what I would say that if you have an idea, just start with what you have and just take a risk and start out. You will improve it along the way. But unless you start, you will never know what is going to happen. This lady may later on, become, a big supplier of kitchenware. But that's what she started with. And now she even says, now she has these people in Chikubo whom she's been buying from are now people who are her clients. They normally, when they get new stuff, they call and say, they say, because also she's created a market for them that they never had anyway, because she's the one buying from them. So that's how she now got herself self-employed, and all she still has is actually still a phone and an idea. And she has no rent to pay. But you can see how she's now created herself an employment, created herself an income but imagine if she had that idea and didn't start and fear and say, I don't have the money to start, therefore I won't begin. But she just used what she had, and just, in a way, that's what you need to do when you have an idea. Just start with what you have, take a risk. If it works out, great. Even if it doesn't work out, you've learned, and that whatever lesson you've learned actually helps you to in your next venture. In fact, the other bit that I've been reading about is that a lot of entrepreneurs take failure. They say there's no failure in entrepreneurship. There are lessons. You should take everything you fail at as a lesson. You see how Moobs pitched and they went over the minute? I can guarantee you next time Moobs pitches, it's going to be a fantastic pitch within 30 seconds. Because they take that as a lesson. So never ever take anything as a failure, just learn from it. And so don't fear your ideas, take the risk, and then you start with what you have, and whenever you stumble, just take it as a lesson and say, okay, now I know better. I know better than someone who's never fallen into that ditch. I am more experienced now, and then you move on. Your second question was about venture capital. So we don't have a lot of venture capitalists in Uganda, which is unfortunate. It's something actually I would love to work on, because I know the biggest problem with you guys who are innovative or entrepreneur is not having the money to start and sometimes to scale. So you may find someone who's developed something, an app that is working fantastically, has great results, but they don't have the money to scale. It's working in Kampala, but they can't afford to scale nationally because they don't have the money. And then there are no venture capital firms or angel investors in our ecosystem because normally that's what these angel investors and venture capitalists do. But I usually tell people, if you're employed, just make sure that you are, deliberate about the time you give. You have a contract, you're contracted to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Do that. Work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Then the rest of the time, use it to build your thing that you want. That way you're not cheating anyone. You're doing your job that you're paid for and contracted for and do it well. And then you're also doing your thing in your own time. And we do have the time to actually do it. I was reading somewhere where it said that it's not that we don't have enough time, it's just that we don't use the time we have well. So if you know that you're employed 9 to 5, but you want to do your own thing, you can wake up at 5, and between 5 and 6, you're thinking about your own thing, you're planning for your own thing, you're calling people for your own thing. Use the rest of the hours for yourself. I hope I've answered your question.